Obviously, Lexie's been tremendous, especially on the defensive end. She just brings a spark and a tenacity about her that, maybe we weren't always getting on the defensive end, and she's just willing to do whatever it takes for this team.
Whispers quietly began circulating among scouts and executives during a long and exhausting July road trip. Before long, Lexie Hull's name was being mentioned across the league. She wasn't injured, nor was she sidelined for any disciplinary reason. She was simply seen as available. At least, that's what rival teams assumed. Reports suggested Indiana was on the hunt for extra perimeter firepower. Though Hull remained a strong defensive asset, her shooting consistency from long range had dipped. So, when a Western Conference team, rumored by insiders to be either Phoenix or Dallas, reached out, the Fever decided to listen. It was initially framed as a routine depth-for-depth trade, nothing headline-worthy, just typical business. But then, without any prior hint, everything came to an unexpected halt. Suddenly, everything went quiet. Phones stopped ringing, no callbacks, no follow-ups, and not a single leak to the press. The entire situation vanished overnight as if it never existed. For the average fan, it didn't seem like a big deal. But within the organization's walls, it triggered one burning question. Who pulled the plug on the deal? That's when attention slowly shifted toward Caitlin Clark's management team. Let's take a step back to where it all began. By the middle of the season, the Fever were in pure survival mode, battling injuries, constantly shuffling lineups, and struggling to shape a roster that could truly complement Clark's dynamic playmaking abilities. Lexie Hull had always been a dependable contributor, but her numbers weren't exactly turning heads this season. Coach Stephanie White was said to be giving more opportunities to younger guards, which naturally cut into Hull's playing time. And in professional basketball, when minutes decrease, speculation always follows. An assistant coach from another team reportedly remarked, "Hull's the type of player every contender needs, steady, intelligent, and completely drama-free." Still, the Fever appeared prepared to move forward without her. Behind closed doors, trade discussions began to surface. One possible deal included future draft picks, while another centered around bringing in a seasoned veteran wing. Everything appeared to be moving normally, until suddenly, it wasn't. Something, or rather someone, had shifted the balance. Within just 24 hours, all communication between Indiana and the interested trade partners came to a standstill. According to several insiders, the decision to halt talks didn't come from the coaching staff or front office, but from above them. In other words, Caitlin Clark's camp wasn't on board. To grasp how such influence was even possible, you first have to understand the scale of Caitlin Clark's entire operation. She's far more than just a basketball player. She's an entire commercial powerhouse. Represented by XL Sports Management and powered by global giants like Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, and Hy-Vee, Clark operates at a level where every move, even a trade rumor, can have massive ripple effects.
Something in your game day routine, or do you feel like you're just in a groove right now?
She's in a groove. She started hanging out with me more.
It's rubbing off on me.
Some are good, some are bad.
Caitlin Clark's brand deals together pull in more revenue than the entire payroll of several WNBA franchises. Around her operates a massive system. PR specialists tracking online conversations, marketing consultants analyzing engagement data, and sponsorship experts managing her image with precision, from interview quotes to Instagram captions. So, when whispers spread within her circle that Lexie Hull might be on the move, it wasn't viewed as a routine roster shuffle. It looked like a potential public relations setback. Hull isn't just another teammate. She's one of the rare players who mirrors Clark's clean, humble, and down-to-earth persona. The two frequently appear side by side in community events and promotional videos, and fans online have even dubbed them Indiana's golden duo.
Okay, first rating, I think, there's always room to improve, but I was impressed, so I'd give it a 9. But we were just hanging out, and she was like, I did this the other day, randomly, and then she turn on the game. I was like, okay. Turned on the game, and she just started going at it, so it was funny.
For Clark's powerful marketing machine, that kind of natural connection was priceless. You simply don't trade away chemistry like that for just another bench shooter. So, as multiple insiders reported, Her management team stepped in, calm but assertive, and voiced their objections. Almost instantly, the deal was frozen in place. It was a rare mix of loyalty and quiet influence working behind the scenes. That's where the real tension began to build. Team owner Steve Simon had already approved exploring roster tweaks, focused purely on business outcomes. After all, Clark's popularity was driving massive profits for the franchise. But head coach Stephanie White reportedly saw things differently. She was growing impatient, craving the independence to make basketball decisions without off-court interference. To her, this was just a routine adjustment to balance the lineup, not a betrayal. Yet both soon recognized they were now part of a new power structure. As one insider summed it up perfectly, when a single player boosts your revenue by 50%, basketball logic no longer runs the show.
Can I get the spring fling with vanilla cream instead of coconut cream? Can I have the beach babe too, please?
Simon had no intention of jeopardizing anything that could unsettle Clark. White, meanwhile, wasn't pleased, but she had little room to push back. Behind the scenes, team insiders described a subtle but undeniable chill spreading through the organization once the rumor surfaced. The trust between the coaching staff and front office began to erode, and the shift was impossible to ignore. The Fever's focus had clearly moved from team-first unity to brand-first protection. Inside the locker room, the mood turned emotional and divided. Those closest to Clark viewed the situation as a bold act of loyalty, proof that she would go the extra mile to defend someone she cared about. She had used her growing influence to shield someone she genuinely valued, and that gesture carried real weight. To many, it was a sign of loyalty and heart. But not everyone saw it that way. For some players, the situation felt unsettling. One veteran reportedly confided to a local journalist off the record, "I've got nothing but respect for Caitlin. She's incredible. But if some players become untouchable, it completely changes the way a team functions."
It's helped our defense improve a lot. So I think offensively and defensively, we've taken a step forward. And, that's kind of what the coaches challenged us in going into that break too.
Another player quietly remarked, "I like Lexie, but we can't act like there isn't a clear double standard now." No one spoke out publicly. Nobody wanted to ignite a media frenzy, yet the tension was unmistakable. The irony was sharp. Clark likely saw her actions as a simple act of friendship, yet many interpreted it as a demonstration of power. Her motives may have been genuine, but perception is everything, and that's where the cracks began to appear. Even so, most of her critics had to acknowledge that Caitlin had fundamentally shifted the energy and attention around the WNBA. No one, not even the league's seasoned veterans, had ever witnessed a rookie wield this level of influence. That brings us to Lexie Hull, quietly at the center of the storm. Amid all the chaos, she remained silent. No mysterious Instagram posts, no subtle likes on controversial content, no comments hinting at unrest. She simply focused on her craft, extra practice reps, early morning gym sessions, and relentless energy. Then something notable occurred. Her playing time began to increase, her defensive presence became more pronounced, and Clark started spotlighting her in interviews, praising her as both underrated and indispensable. Naturally, fans began to take notice.
How impressive of a job did Stephanie do as coach with all the moving parts throughout the season?
I mean, incredible. Simply incredible. Be so easy to give up and say, we're just gonna take this year, we're gonna be a building year.
Lexie's rise quickly sparked trending hashtags across Fever fan pages. Local media even highlighted her growing chemistry with Clark. This was a quiet but powerful PR move, the kind of subtle narrative shift that rarely happens by chance. Whether it stemmed from genuine appreciation or calculated image management, the effect was clear. Hull transformed from potential trade target to a vital team asset. Within weeks, analysts couldn't ignore it. The Fever performed with noticeably more intensity whenever Lexie was on the court. Pure coincidence? Perhaps, yet fans sensed a definite behind-the-scenes shift. When news of the supposed trade interference reached league offices, it immediately drew attention. The WNBA's expansion thrives on the promise of parity, the belief that every team has a fair shot. Yet what occurs when a single player's impact begins to surpass the league's established structure? A league official reportedly confided, "It's not necessarily a bad dilemma, but it's unprecedented." If Clark's team can block one move, what's stopping them from swaying coaching choices, media rules, or future player signings? Some insiders even suggested this could trigger a lasting shift, ushering in a player empowerment era similar to the one the NBA experienced when its stars started shaping entire franchises from within. Here, the pace of change is noticeably faster. Clark's popularity is growing at a speed the WNBA's existing system wasn't designed to manage. Every public appearance fills arenas instantly, and every product bearing her name goes viral. So when she or her team makes even subtle statements, people pay attention, and that influence is both impressive and risky. The fallout from this dynamic reshaped Indiana more than many fans realized. Behind the scenes, executives began moving cautiously. Every roster discussion carried an unspoken question: how will Caitlyn's team respond? No one voices it directly, yet the tension is palpable. Marketing departments now meticulously double-check every public release. Behind the scenes, social media teams now align captions closely with Clark's PR advisors. Even sponsor announcements reportedly follow a strict approval process to maintain brand consistency. It's subtle, yet all-encompassing. Some view it as efficiency, others as sheer intimidation. When a single player evolves into the living embodiment of a brand, separating business from basketball becomes nearly impossible for anyone nearby. Even Steve Simon's interview tone changed. Previously, he emphasized building a competitive team. Now, his focus is on safeguarding the culture and vision Caitlyn is shaping. That's the level of influence she wields, and it shows no signs of fading. So what's driving it all? Loyalty, leverage, or perhaps a mix of both? The reality is, Caitlyn Clark has consistently shown unshakable loyalty. From Iowa all the way to Indiana, she's always brought her trusted circle along. Teammates, close friends, coaches, and devoted supporters alike. She deeply values chemistry and unbreakable trust. On the surface, it may appear as one friend defending another. Yet when friendship intersects with a multi-million-dollar brand empire, that loyalty instantly turns into undeniable leverage. Lexie Hull might not fully grasp it, but her worth soared the moment Clark's network intervened. The Fever quickly learned a lesson they won't soon forget. Any move that doesn't align with the Caitlyn Clark story simply won't happen. This isn't arrogance, it's earned influence, built through popularity, stellar performance, and massive financial success. Such power can either lift an entire franchise or shatter it if mishandled. The WNBA landscape is evolving rapidly. For years, teams held control over players, but now the biggest stars are starting to rewrite the rules entirely. Caitlyn Clark's situation with Lexie Hull might very well go down as the first undeniable example of how the balance of power in the WNBA is shifting. We're no longer just talking about a superstar leading her team on the court. This is a player influencing every layer of the organization, from who stays, who goes, to how every decision is made. And what makes it even more fascinating, this isn't being done through flashy statements, social media posts, or dramatic headlines. Instead, the maneuvering happens quietly, behind closed doors, through private calls, carefully orchestrated meetings, and strategic brand negotiations that most fans will never even see. This is the modern game, subtle, calculated, soft power in action. And whether people cheer her bold moves or criticize them, Caitlyn Clark is mastering this type of influence faster than anyone before her. The Fever's front office knows it, her teammates feel it, and now the entire league is sitting up and taking notice. At its core, this story isn't just about Lexie Hull staying put. It's about what her decision represents: loyalty, influence, and control. Three powerful forces that rarely coexist peacefully in professional sports. Some argue Caitlyn simply acted as any loyal teammate would, protecting a friend. Others see a much bigger, more strategic picture. Many insiders believe Caitlyn's camp deliberately flexed its influence to tilt the roster in her favor. Yet regardless of opinion, both sides agree on one undeniable truth. Nothing in Indiana's organization moves forward without first going through Caitlyn Clark's inner circle. That level of influence is exactly what separates generational talent from ordinary stars. Was this move entirely fair? Probably not. But was it calculated and strategic? Absolutely. And it might also explain why the Fever's locker room could look completely different next season, both on and off the court. When a single player effectively holds the keys to a franchise, everyone else has to knock before stepping inside. Drop a 100 in the comments if you think Caitlyn's loyalty genuinely protected her teammate, or type power move if you believe this was all part of a much larger, pre-planned strategy. Either way, the message is crystal clear. In Indiana, loyalty isn't just a virtue, it's leverage. And Caitlin Clark has just shown the league exactly how to use it. So don't forget, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more, because this saga between Caitlin, the Fever, and her rapidly expanding empire is far from over. The influence she wields is only growing, and every decision she makes now carries ripple effects across the team, the league, and beyond. Fans, players, and executives alike are watching closely, because one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball anymore. She's shaping the future of the WNBA in real time, and there's no telling how far her power will stretch next. This story is just beginning, and if you think you've seen the full picture, think again.